continue to search areas of interest. Based on the information we have, we're initiating a concerted effort to search some areas in Williams County this morning with a number of the resources that we still have here available. I think it's important to clarify when Mrs. Herrera says organized searches, what I'm talking about there is the volunteers. We have a number of public safety assets at our disposal here, including local fire departments, regional assets beyond the volunteers that we can implement at a moment's notice to execute searches if necessary. But at this point, as I've stated before, we genuinely and sincerely appreciate all the efforts from all over the United States that have been implemented here to help us. But we do have the regional assets to apply in the event that we have a lead or a tip that we need to follow up on an area that we are going to search, and we will continue in that direction. Now, if the circumstances should change as this remains a fluid situation, that call may go out again. But at this point, we are satisfied with the resources that we have on the ground here now. We have had no further contact in anticipation of your question with John. He has asked for a lawyer, so we are not having any communication with him. I think it would be fair to say that based on the information we've gathered up to this point that we continue to be hopeful that he will share with us the location of Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner, and we can move forward to a resolution to this situation. From a personal standpoint, as I said yesterday, or maybe I didn't, it was my intention for this to be the last scheduled press conference. And I had the opportunity to meet each of these boys personally. And one thing that sticks in my mind is I was at their house on one occasion, and Andrew came out and he saw me and he says, "Hey, Chief, how you doing?" I said, "I'm good, how are you?" And in just a minute, he ran back into the house and he came back out and he had one of these toy police vests and hat. He said to me, he says, "I'm going to be a police officer like you someday." And that's been with me every day since. And I can assure you, I won't forget it, and we'll stick to this until we get it resolved. So, on behalf of the city, I have our mayor here, Keith Pennington. I believe he has a prepared statement. He may be asking some questions. But before I turn over to him, I will take just a couple questions.
Chief, on John Skelton, and I understood what you just said, but just for clarification, has there been any effort by your local or FBI to bring his mother, maybe from Jacksonville, to bring anyone here or to him to appeal to him? He's obviously still the key. We have had agents from Florida contact family members down there and interview them. We've had contact with family members here locally. Family members have appealed to make that request. Those are being evaluated on an individual basis, and if that becomes necessary, we'll certainly consider implementing that plan. But we're confident in the direction we're going, and if we need to call them in, we will.
Chief, can you tell us if the Toledo dive team is searching in Williams County?
Given where things stand right now, is it safe to call this, unfortunately, a stalemate? And if that's the case, what are your thoughts about that?
You know, that word has not been used, but I can see where that would come in place. Certainly at this point, the information we continue to receive into our command post and the tip line has begun to not be as frequent, not getting as many calls as we were running initially. But as I said all along, I'm not giving up. I don't believe it's a stalemate. We'll continue to press ahead. Whatever obstacles are on our way, we'll use whatever legal means necessary to move through them and around and continue on.
Can you tell us if the Toledo dive team is working in Williams County somewhere?
Yes, they are working in areas today. As I said all along, it's not our intention to leave any stone unturned. Any area in which he potentially had traveled to or been through, we want to thoroughly and as best we can eliminate any possible areas in which they've been. One more question.
Is there any word in your contact email that also may be arrested in the conversation?
No, ma'am. At this point, we have no information of an accomplice,
no evidence to indicate that whatsoever.
Where in Williams County?
At this time, I will introduce my mayor, Keith Pennington, to make some statements on behalf of the city. If there be any additional information, it will be emailed out, or you can contact us and notify them of an additional office.
Could you tell us where in Williams County, Chief?